I feel like I'm about to ice a cake. Hi. Do you want to learn how to do some brick mortar joint repair?
Yes.
Great, because that's what this video is all about. There's a spot on our house that has some mortar issues since we bought it. I didn't really notice there was a problem until I painted the house white when I first started this whole reno journey. I'll put a link to that video here if you want to check it out, but as a disclaimer, that was my first video I ever made, so don't judge me too hard. At that point, I just needed to get the paint on the house before winter, and I figured I would just deal with the mortar problem later. But later has now become right now. I've never really done any tuck pointing, but I've done a ton of research and I bought a mortar bag to squeeze in the joints, so I don't think it's going to be that hard. The biggest challenge has been figuring out which cement mix to get, but I ended up getting the mortar mix, so I think I'm ready to go. There's really only one way to find out though, so let's get to it.
How to withdraw city builds.
Let's go.
I started by scraping out any loose or chipping mortar. I just used a flathead screwdriver for this. While I was scraping away, the face of this brick started falling apart, so I scraped it down to where it felt solid and decided I would just figure out how to fix it later. And then I just kept cleaning out the rest of that old mortar. I was kind of surprised at how much came out, but I just kept going. I did a little scrape test on the mortar surrounding this area, and if it stayed put, I left it alone. When I did my final pass to make sure I got everything, this brick face also started coming apart, so I scraped it off as well. Definitely not ideal, but that's how DIY projects go. Okay, the bricks are prepped and ready for mortar, but I want to stop for a second to talk about a brand I'm working with, and that is Magic Mind. They reached out to me to try their mental performance shot, and I gotta say I like it. So I decided to do a 7-day challenge by shooting one of these little guys every morning and seeing how I feel after a week. Each 2-ounce shot is chock full of good ingredients like vitamin D3 that is great for brain health, ceremonial grade matcha, which I'm already into, turmeric, lion's mane mushrooms, vitamin C, and ashwagandha that decrease stress hormones, and a bunch of other ingredients that are super good for your body and mind. I also really like that they donate 5 cents per bottle sold to mental health charities that help US homeless communities. I'm not a big coffee drinker because it usually makes me feel full of anxiety, so I usually stick to an iced matcha or a matcha latte. But I'm going to start my mornings with Magic Mind for the next week to see if it makes me feel as good or better. What's great about it is you can still have your coffee if that's your thing, but if you drink a Magic Mind before or after that, you'll have a more steady focus energy. So yeah, let's start this 7-day challenge. Shake her up.
That's a 10.
Yum. If you're interested in trying this out, I'll let you know how I feel at the end of the video, as well as have a little link with a discount code. Thanks again to Magic Mind for partnering up. Now let's get back to work. First thing I had to do was mix up some new mortar. I filled the bucket with a little bit of water so that way when I poured the mortar mix in, it wasn't a big dusty mess. I used this mixer attachment on my drill to make it easy. Then I mixed it up. It was a little watery, so I added a little more mortar mix. The goal is to get it to like a peanut butter texture, so I had to add a little bit more water. Once I got it to the consistency I wanted, I filled up that mortar bag. I just used a putty knife for this, and I was ready to go. It's literally like icing a cake. You just put the tip in the joint and you squeeze the mortar in the gap. I like to use my hand so I can really feel what I'm doing, so I put on some rubber gloves and smoothed out the mortar with my fingers so I could match the existing depth and texture of the old mortar. And then it was just the same process on all the gaps. This really didn't use that much mortar mix. I was able to do the whole thing with the one bag. And this last little section over here, and donezo. All right, the mortar's dry, which is good, so now I gotta focus on those 2 missing bricks. I think I'm gonna add mortar on each one and kind of sculpt them out so that way they match the other ones and there isn't some weird missing hole there. Side note, I added some Magic Mind to seltzer water and some ice, and I think it's my favorite way to drink it. I sprayed the bricks down to get a little moisture on them, and then I layered on the mortar mix. I used that same putty knife to kind of shape it out, and then I used a bigger knife to make the depth level with the surrounding bricks. I did the same thing on the other one. And from there it was just matching the texture of the other bricks so that they blended in. I used a putty knife to make the lines and the flathead screwdriver to make those little pock marks and my finger to smooth everything out. Once that dried, I used a brush to get off any loose bits. I wet the bricks down before I painted because that's what you do with Romabio. Then I went to town covering up all that new mortar. I used the Romabio brush that's made specifically for painting bricks, so it made this part super quick. I'm really happy with how the sculpted bricks turned out, they blend right in. After that, I put the cute new plant we got in its spot, which means this project is finished. Well, that turned out better than I was hoping for. All the mortar gaps are gone, and I can't really tell where the sculpted bricks are unless I really look, so I'm happy. I originally put that pot there to hide everything, but now it's just nice to have a cute little plant. If anybody's wondering how my 7-day Magic Mind challenge went, it's been over a week and I'm feeling really good. I started by shooting them straight, which was good, but once I poured them over seltzer water, that was definitely my jam. I didn't have any brain fog and I felt super alert and focused while I was working on this project, so I dig it. Anyway, Magic Mind is offering a 48% discount for the next 10 days on your first subscription, or 20% off a one-time purchase. Just use the code BCB20 at checkout when you visit magicmind.com if you want to try it yourself. All right, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. And I'll see you soon. Bye. What is that jingling noise? The ice cream man is jingling his little bell. Doesn't he know that I'm filming?